Mary Shields, the co-chair of Voter Service for the League of Women Voters of the Cape Cod area. I want to welcome all of you to tonight's candidates forum for the Brooks Free Library Board of Trustees. I'd also like to take this time to thank our colleagues and co-sponsors, the Harwich Voter Information Committee, for all the work they've done to put this forum together. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce our moderator for the evening, Mary O'Connor, a member of the League of Women Voters from Eastham.
Thank you, Rosemary. Good evening. I am honored to serve as moderator for this candidates forum. The town election is being held May 21st at the Harwich Community Center, 100 Oak Street, Harwich. Tonight we will be hearing from the 4 candidates for the Brooks Free Library Trustees. There are 3 slots for this position. You are welcome to vote for up to 3 of the candidates, and they are, in the order they appear on the ballot, Joan A. McCarty, Jeannie S. Wheeler, Lynn Slangen Budell, and Patricia Larkin Murray. I will start by reviewing some procedures for this event, which each candidate received and agreed to prior to this meeting. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer each question and 2 minutes for a closing statement. The candidates drew lots just before we started tonight to determine the order for the first question. We will start with Lynn, followed by Joan, then Tricia, and Jeannie. The remaining questions will be answered in an order chosen via a random generated grid used by the League of Women Voters for 4 candidates. I will announce the order before each question. The timekeeper is here with a countdown clock and is visible to me and to the candidates. When there is a half-minute left on a candidate's speaking time, the timekeeper's assistant will hold up a card that says 30 seconds. When the stop card is raised, the candidate may finish their sentence. Beyond that sentence, or sooner, if I determine the sentence is unusually long, I will say thank you and move on. There is no rebuttal, but candidates may use any time remaining when they answer a question to respond to a previous comment made by another candidate. Questions have been submitted from the audience, and if you still have questions, you can fill out an index card, raise your hand, and someone from the league will come and pick it up and bring it up here. Personal references about other candidates are out of order. The forum is being broadcast live and then rebroadcast several times before the election on the Harwich channel, Channel 8. Recordings of the event will remain the property of the League of Women Voters of the Cape Cod area and may not be used in or edited in whole or in part for any campaign purposes. Now, a link to the program on a candidate's website or social media is acceptable. If it is aired after tonight's event, league policy dictates that it must be aired in its entirety. Now, ground rules for the rest of us. Everyone should please turn off the sound to your cell phones and potentially beeping items now. See, I actually took my watch off, left it at home. Please treat all candidates fairly. Remain quiet throughout the forum, no clapping or cheering or calling out. You are welcome to clap for all the candidates after they finish their closing statements. Campaign materials such as palm cards, brochures, signs, banners, including t-shirts, are to be kept outside the building. This helps to ensure the nonpartisan informational tone of the forum. The questions you submit must be addressed to all candidates and must apply to issues or qualifications for the library trustees. Volunteers from the League and from the Voter Information Committee will review the questions for legibility, clarity, and applicability to all candidates. I have to be able to read it. I don't promise that I'll be able to pronounce it, but I should be able to read it. I will pose as many questions as time allows. I estimate we're going to stop questions around 5:40, 5:45. We might combine similar statements, questions, to be sure to cover a variety of topics within our constraints. There will be a quiz. And it's a behavioral quiz. We'll know at the end of the event how well we did. Thank you for being here, and we're going to now move on to the questions. And as I said before, we are going to start with, thank you, Lynn, then Joan, Tricia, and Jeannie. The first question, why did you decide to run for the Library Board of Trustees?
Okay. I am a librarian. I'm a retired librarian. That's my expertise, I guess, and I'll go into that. The primary reason is because this is my new home. I'm not a long-term resident of Harwich, but it is my home now, and I want to contribute to it. And I have done so in conservation trusts, but where I can most contribute is with the public library. Because I have worked in public libraries from the time I was a kid in high school, all my working life till I retired. And I feel that this is an area where I can give back, where I have something to bring to this town that is my home, that I can give back to the town. I guess that's it.
Thank you. And Joan?
Yes, I have been a trustee for 18 years. I absolutely love it. I went there because my daughter was in school, and I got so much help from anybody at the library that I needed to send me in the right direction. I was so impressed that I wanted to do something to be able to help out. I respect the fact that you're a librarian. That's remarkable. I do think that we have so many librarians that our job is more buildings and the quality of the education, what's happening in the library, rather than just specific librarian umbrella. I will continue to be a trustee as long as people vote me into that job, and I will continue to work very hard to make it such a stellar place that people remark all the time to me about how much they love to go there. They love to bring their kids to the programs, go to book reviews. It's just a remarkable place, and it's magical as far as I'm concerned, and it makes me feel like I'm a part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tricia?
I am running to be a member of the trustees because I absolutely love Brooks Free Library. It's my favorite place in Harwich. I think it's a beautiful facility. The staff is just so knowledgeable and friendly. Just in short, I think it's the best. The mission of the, now having running for office, I have done a little deep digging, and the mission of the Brooks Free Library is to promote full and equal access to information and ideas, the love of learning, and engagement with the arts, sciences, and humanities. Obviously, incredibly worthy goals. If I may be so bold, though, I think the mission statement is missing a reference to the vital role that the Brooks Free Library plays in fostering community. I'm hoping by joining the board to help expand the outreach so everyone knows what a great resource it is for the community and takes advantage of it as much as I do.
Thank you. And Jeannie?
Thank you. I love being a trustee at Brooks Library. I've been a trustee for 17 years, and please forgive my voice. I'm very hoarse today. So I'll try to speak up and hope that everybody can hear me. I grew up here in Harwich, born and raised, and spent a lot of my high school years at Brooks Library doing homework and socializing. It was through the library that I grew to love books, everything about books. And when I had an opportunity and we moved back to run for trustee, I took out my papers and was voted in. I love being a trustee, and hopefully I will be voted in to continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. The second question, the order of response is Jeannie, then Lynn, then Tricia, and then Joan.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Thanks.
Is that better?
I hope so.
I know I'm getting a slight echo. Is that better now?
Yeah, I can hear the, I
can hear the
understand the echo too, yeah.
How's that? How's that? Eh, we're still getting it.
All right, well, if I can't hear you, I'll raise my hand.
Okay, thank you. The question, the order again is Jeannie, then Lynn, then Tricia, and then Joan. What experience do you have that makes you a good candidate for the Board of Trustees? And I'll remind all candidates to answer specifically only to yourselves and not comment on other candidates' qualifications.
Thank you. First of all, I have a love for books. I am a very organized person. I feel very blessed to be part of Brooks Library. It's a historic building. I know the history of the building, what a gift it is to the town of Harwich. That's a good question. I would have to say my organization, my love for books, my love of the history of Brooks Library.
Thank you. Lynn?
I have, as I said before, spent a number of years, most of my life, working in public libraries. I did that because this is something I love and I care for, and I think is essential to a democratic society. With libraries they provide free and open access to information that we absolutely need. They also provide joy for children. I mean, I started out as a children's librarian, and I did reference work, and I was a library director for more than 15 years. So, Joan, I did have a lot of involvement in Jeannie with building maintenance. I had 2 buildings for which I was responsible, as well as a bookmobile. I understand the role of the Board of Trustees. The board approves, provides policy that guides this library in its direction of providing for this community. And it's, and it provides also for making sure that we have staff that is educated, and we provide continuing education opportunities for them.
Thank
And
you.
it requires that we have support of this community.
Thank you. And Joan?
I'm embarrassed to ask if you'd just repeat it because it's been a long day.
What experience do you have that makes you a good candidate for the Board of Trustees?
I think that the history I have with being a trustee for so many years, we faced just about every problem I can imagine and come out smiling on the other side. And I think that knowing the other trustees and being able to work as a unit to get these things done and to get our importance across to everybody is extremely important, and I'm eager to do that at all times. Thank you.
Thank you. The order for the next question. Did you not answer? Tricia?
I'd answer my qualifications in three parts. First, my education and background. I have an undergraduate degree in accounting, and I have a law degree. I practiced for 25 years, so I'm adept at the legal and financial matters that may be faced by the board. Secondly, I have experience serving on boards and committees. I'm presently on the Mass Hire Cape and Islands Workforce Board and the John F. Kennedy Hyannis Museum Board. I'm also chair of the Voter Information Committee, although I want to assure everyone we've been very strict and I have not been involved in today's procedure or today's forum. But, you know, all those credentials aside, I think it's my love of the library, which I shared in the last question, in the answer to the last question. And I really thought about whether I wanted to run for this position, and I've attended a number of board meetings. They're the first Wednesday of every month, and I had the opportunity to go to 3 since I considered joining. And I was really energized by the work that the board does on a monthly basis, an ongoing basis, and I think I would be, all my skill sets would benefit the library board.
Thank you. The next question. The order is Tricia, Joan, Lynn, Jeannie. What do you think are the top 2 issues facing the library right now? And again, I'll remind candidates to stick to their own issues, speak only for themselves, and as helpful as this group is of library trustees and candidates, please just take care of yourself here. So again, the question, what do you think are the top 2 issues facing the library right now? Tricia.
I think the top 2 issues are staffing and becoming more well-known. So I'll just address them sequentially. With respect to staffing, the library has been undergoing a bit of a reorganization for positions. I think our library director has done a great job trying to firm up the organizational chart, creating a deputy director position, and encouraging staff members to increase their academic credentials. But you know, as with so many positions in the town, it's hard to find qualified candidates, so I think that's a challenge. A fully staffed library is going to allow us to have even more robust programming. So that's one challenge I see. The other challenge or opportunity really is just making sure that the library is doing a great job promoting all that it does do. I know that the library has a social media accounts where they promote their programming. There is a bulletin board in the library itself, but I'm wondering if there's opportunities to do more outreach, whether it's partnering with the Community Council on Aging or the Chamber of Commerce or other community organizations to spread the word about all the great stuff that's happening at the library.
Thank you. Joan?
I think that we face the staffing is always a problem. And I think that our director does such a good job of putting things in front of us and saying, what do you think about this? Or I think this is a good way to go. That she's kind of eliminated that pressure from the people that are on the Board of Trustees. I think as always, people that are worried about banning books and showing that they can control the rest of the public is always a hurdle, because you're trying not to point a finger at anybody, but to make sure it's an open area where everybody can get information about anything that they need to find out about, and can also talk to people within the library that will direct them to the places that are going to help them solve problems they have. And I think that making sure that people understand what's going on at the library is a very important part of the job. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn?
Well, I agree that staffing is an issue for this library. It seems like the past couple of years at least, we've always been down at least one employee. And in a small staff, that makes a huge difference in what the people in the library are able to do, despite their ambitions and their willingness and their interest in moving forward. I think that the other issue is planning. The long-range plan for this library expired in 2018, and times are changing. This town is changing. There's more emphasis on low-cost housing, or sustainable housing, people who can come here and be able to stay and pay. And that will change the makeup of our community. That and the changes in terms of what is happening with censorship. That all these things need to be incorporated into a long-range plan so that this library has one direction, an agreed-upon direction. It knows where it's going, and it can focus its efforts in that way.
Thank you. Jeannie?
Thank you. Definitely staffing and restructuring, reorganization of the library is being worked on. It's something that we need to do. The executive director, Jenny Hewitt, is doing a remarkable job in that area. not only with the staffing, with volunteers, we also getting the word out more, as Tricia had mentioned, social media. We have different avenues right now, but we can always do more to get out there to let the community know just what programs are available, not only to the children, which there are amazing programs, but for adults as well. So those are the two areas. I do have one more. I know you said only two, but also with building and maintenance, which is an area near and dear to my heart. Thank you.
You're welcome. Question 4, the order will be Joan, then Tricia, then Jeannie, then Lynn. And the question is, are there segments of the community the library does not serve? How would you reach them? Joan?
I do not think that there's any segment that I can point out that I think is not being served. We have had some discussions as far as adult programming, and the Council on Aging does a lot of that. We have lots of book clubs, and the town bus will bring seniors to our library if they need to. So our information is always vast, but we're also trying to get people to the library to make sure that they understand what's going on. Our librarians go to the school, the elementary schools. We're just lucky enough to have a whole staff of people that are eager to help to get these points across and these opportunities made available to somebody. Sorry, looking for your 30 seconds. I think that is something that we're really working at, making sure everybody is aware of what we have available and how to get there and the different programs. And the help for computers, which is huge in the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Tricia?
I would say that it is important for the board to assess the needs and the needs of the community and the role that the library plays within the community. I think going back to my last answer about social media and outreach in general, I think it is important to do outreach to different communities. I don't know what outreach is done now, so I wouldn't want to comment that the outreach has been lacking. I really don't know, but I think it can always be improved. Part of a strategic plan or any sort of community engagement involves getting out into the community, asking questions of different constituent groups. Thinking of constituent groups, I would think of Chamber of Commerce. For instance, are the small business owners utilizing the resources that are available through a library membership? Whether that is online resources or books in the library. Certainly the schools, I might have said the schools already, excuse me if I did. We have a strong Cape Verdean population here on the Cape, here in Harwich. I believe we have a small corner, but could we increase our outreach to that community, focusing on the history perhaps? Certainly there's, I'm not sure, I don't know what our collections are of non-English materials, so that's something that probably could be improved upon, or maybe something that could be improved upon. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lynn?
Okay, could you repeat the question?
Sure. 3, 4. It was already in my hand. Are there segments of the community the library does not serve? How would you reach them?
Okay, I cannot, I'm on the outside looking in from in relation to the library here, because I have not served on the board, as some people have. But I think it's important to identify if there are segments of our population who are not being served, and that's, again, where long-range planning would come in. I mean, it's possible even to do a community survey, if it's done properly, to know what opinions of the library are in different areas of this community. Grants can be found to do that type of work. And certainly, we need to identify people who aren't being served. I wonder, just personally, about teens in this town. We do incredible things for kids, for the younger population. We do a lot for adults, lots of book programs, but I do wonder what we are doing for teens. And maybe that's my ignorance, that I have not been seeing information about such programs. But definitely, I think that planning is essential, just to answer the question that you asked. And I'm done.
Thank you. Jeannie?
Thank you. I believe we have a huge outreach program, not only covering the schools, Council on Aging. We do work with the chamber. We also do a lot with kids that are homeschooled. We actually had started a strategic plan in the late 2018, just before COVID hit. And then we had to put that on hold because of COVID, and that will be starting up again soon. We do a lot of work, as I said, with the chamber, with the town, with the Council on Aging. We have Books on Wheels. If a person is at home, a shut-in, they have someone perhaps come to the library to get books for them, but they don't know what, they can call up and one of the librarians will ask what their hobbies are, what kind of books they like, and they'll pick out a bunch of books for them and have them ready for someone to pick up or to deliver to them. So I think the library does a pretty good job with outreach. Yes, it could always be better, and that will help once the strategic plan is completed. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, the order is Lynn, Jeannie, Tricia, and Joan, and I promise to follow that order on this question. What do you feel are the best services offered by the library, and where is there opportunity to grow and improve? Lynn.
I think the best service provided by this library is the willingness of the library staff to go out of their way to really help anyone who comes in with a question. I am incredibly impressed also with the children's librarian, Anne, and the programs the Children's Department does. Having been a children's librarian, I know how much work that takes, and it's amazing how much she can put into a week. I do, as I said before, wonder if we have sufficient attraction and programming for teenagers in our community.
Thank you. Jeannie.
One of the things I would have to say is tech support. Anytime somebody has an issue, it's not only with their cell phones, with their laptop, trying to figure out their iPads, how to even connect to the internet. they can go, they can reserve time with one of the librarians and go in, and they'll sit down with them, and they have the patience of Job, believe me. And also the children's section, our children's librarian, Ann, is amazing. The programs that she comes up with the children is incredible. And many times the programs are standing room only. So those are two areas that we're very blessed with among many. Thank you.
Thank you. Tricia?
Well, I have to say just being part of the CLAMS network and the way that the books come in so speedily is fantastic. So, and with respect to the CLAMS network, there was definitely some challenges as there was a new system. And I think my understanding is the Brooks Free Library really took the lead in doing the troubleshooting for the bugs and got some things resolved. So I think that's a real credit to the executive director and her staff. I think another valuable resource that the library provides is in the area of digital equity. A lot of, it's hard to imagine, but there are people who don't have internet access, don't have printers. I go to the library to print. So that's a great resource, and I think it could be expanded upon. Perhaps we could find ways to offer video conferencing. Some folks maybe need it for remote education. Maybe we could be a secure test site. So I think there's some opportunities in the digital equity arena.
Thank you. Joan?
Yes. I think one of the things that I enjoy the most is Books on Wheels. I've been delivering books for many years, and to see people that don't have any ability to get to books and magazines and movies and any kind of information they need, and know that they can pick up the phone and somebody will answer it and get them a solution is a real strength of our library. As Jeannie says, tech support, they're way over my head. I ask questions and they talk, and it's like, slow down, because I'm not getting it. I think that the ability of all our staff, that they seem to work together for everything. When something is needed, somebody is jumping into that space. And when somebody needs to go and do something, there's another employee that's going to help with whatever she was doing before she started. It's a wonderful community within the library to hear the employees talk and to know that that community gives comfort to anybody coming in that isn't quite sure what they need to have done. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be our last question. The order is Joan, followed by Lynn, Jeannie, and Tricia. The question is, what would you do to develop a, quote, lifetime learning program, end quote, here, similar to the ones they have at Chatham and Orlean libraries? Joan?
To be quite honest with you, I don't know what would have to be done to establish that kind of a program. I rely on the information that comes back. If we present the question to Ginny at a meeting, she tells us what needs to be done. I would love to have lifetime learning. I think it's a wonderful program to get people involved. I think there's a lot of aspects of it that have to be addressed before we're able to establish a program. So I feel like I'm wasting your time telling you the right way to do it, because I don't know how you do it.
Thank you. Lynn?
I'm not familiar with those programs. at those particular libraries. What I can say is that any public library is or should be a source of lifetime learning. That's what we're all here for. We start with infants. We start with 6-month-old for story time, where mothers can play with their babies and do the rhymes and things that you all remember from your own childhood or raising your own kids. And we take it through all the elements and into adulthood, informational programs for adults, but also all the resources. So, when you're out of formal schooling, there's still the library as your own private school where you can access any information you want, where there, in this case, in Harwich, really extraordinary librarians and library staff who are going to help you find what you want. And in this library also, there is one section of books that could be controversial that you don't have to ask anybody about. You can just take them and read them.
Thank you. Jeannie?
I agree with Joan. I honestly don't know the answer to this, but what I would probably do is talk with Ginny about how to go about this, and then I would talk with a contact person in Chatham to see how they got the program started, and then start working there in small steps to get a program like that going in Harwich. Thank you.
Thank you. Tricia?
Well, I would just start by pointing out that the role of the trustees is not to do the programming. The trustees has the custody and management of the library and reading room and all the property relating there too. So we're not going to, we're there, I think, to support the library in its efforts. So I love the idea of talking to other libraries that are successfully offering that program. I think collaboration is a big part of it. I'm sure in a lifetime learning course, as my understanding is there's different components, and it probably involves getting different faculty or resources to teach each aspect of it. So, but again, that would be the board supporting the library if they think that's a program they want to offer. Another program that I think would be great is I've seen Brewster has offered a community-wide read this year relating to housing, and I think that would be fun to, it's a series of books, different levels of books, but all relating to housing. So it provided different access points for library members or library patrons, and I think that would be another great program to pursue if the director and her staff thought that would be a good program to pursue.
Thank you. That would be the question we end with, right? When we're saying, honestly, I don't know. Not so sure about this.
Can I make a quip without taking time? I guess we're all lifetime learners here. We have to learn about doing that program.
So it's now time for your closing statements. And the order will be first Tricia, followed by Jeannie, followed by Lynn, followed by Joan. Tricia.
Thank you, Madam Moderator and the League of Women Voters and my colleagues at the Voter Information Committee for allowing me this opportunity to participate in tonight's candidates forum. I've really enjoyed the process. When I signed up, when I considered putting my name in, I was told, oh, it won't be it's usually not a contested race. So I never expected that I would be participating in candidate forums. But I have to say, I've actually really enjoyed the process of going deep into the role of the trustees and learning more about the Brooks Free Library's mission. I was pleased to see that it's a member, we're a member of the, I don't know, member is the right word, but we follow the Library Bill of Rights. We're committed to the constitutional rights of all, to the use of the resources and services of the library. So it's really, and I also, as I mentioned, have enjoyed going to the trustee meetings. So it really, the work does really resonate with me. So I'm excited about the opportunity to serve if I'm elected. I'm at the library at least once a week to take out the 90 to 100 books I read a year. I use the printer and the copy machine and get tax forms from the, and other documents from the resource area. I follow social media to stay up to date on all that's happening. I think my use of the library demonstrates just some of the ways libraries are vital community centers. They're a source of information and resources often for our most vulnerable community members. So I'm running for the Brooks Free Library Board of Trustees to give back to the organization that has given so much to me, and I hope you'll consider voting for me on May 21st.
Thank you. Jeannie?
Thank you, Madam Moderator, League of Women Voters. In the last 17 years that I've been a trustee, I have served as co-chair and chair of Building and Grounds. I have been instrumental in helping to complete the preservation and restoration of the library, to preserve this building to the way it should be, where it's such a historic building. There's so much history involved in that. And having grown up here, I remember a lot of the way the building was. And it is truly a gift to the town. I've spent a lot of time growing up in the library, as I had mentioned before. We do have so many programs, so much available to the town, so many resources that I'm so proud to be a part of, beside just the books and the kids program, the adult programs. There's Sunday afternoon programs that the Friends put on. And I'm just very proud to be part of all that, and I hope you'll consider voting me as a trustee. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn?
When I moved here, when I bought a house, before my belongings got moved into the house, I joined the library and I joined the Friends of the Library. And like some of you, you will see me at least once a week in the Brooks Library. Come on Saturday to the book sale room. I'm there. I work there every Saturday morning. If you are a member of the Friends of the Library, you will have gotten a letter from me sometime during this past week reminding you to renew your membership in the Friends of the Library. So I'm an active member of this public library, have been, but I also think that there are ways that I can contribute beyond what I do for the Friends of the Library. My background in public library work has given me the experience as a children's librarian, as an assistant director or director. My God, when you're a director, and Jenny can probably verify this, sometimes you end up cleaning the restroom. I love this town. I love this library. I love libraries generally. I think they're so important. And I am a washershore, but sometimes good things can wash ashore. And I would like to be the best good thing that washes ashore for this Public Library.
Thank you. And Joan?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you for having us here. Can honestly say that the last 18 years have been a joy. We've had bumps in the road, and we've had arguments with selectmen and with a million different people. But everybody stuck to it, and it worked. And we've shown you how well it works. Anytime you drive by that library, you can tell that. I'm on my second generation of children's hours, probably ready to shoot myself over it. But I've got a 3-year-old now, and we're there every week for the children's hour. Our children's librarian is wonderful. There isn't a negative thing I could say about anybody. Everybody works together. And that's a joyful thing. It's joyful to feel like you're serving a purpose, but people are happy to be there and happy to work together and happy to say, sure, I can do that. You can't ask for more than that for a little dedication to have in your life. Thank you. I hope you vote for me. Forgot that. Thank you.
Thank you. And remember, you can vote for up to 3 of the 4 candidates. The results of the quiz? You've got an A+ for this live audience. Give yourself a hand. And to the candidates.
Okay, our thanks to the candidates for showing your commitment to the community by running for public office and participating in this forum. Thank you for running and giving voters a choice. To the audience, to the voters, the Harwich Annual Town Election will be held next Tuesday, May 21st. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Harwich Community Center, 100 Oak Street. Next page. You can get a sample ballot. I love sample ballots. High school students have always told me that they were intimidated about going to the polls because it was like taking the SATs. And I said, no, it's an open book test. All you got to do is get a sample ballot at the town clerk's website. There's one ballot question regarding an override to pay for a bond for renovating the exterior siding on the Monomoy Regional High School. Please review this ballot question before you get to the polls. And remember, democracy is not a spectator sport, so get out there and vote. Voting is your superhero. Be a hero. I mean, is a superpower. I'm sorry, I blew it. Let me try it again. Voting is your superpower. Be a hero. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.